Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. You have joined our Music Minute this evening, where we are looking at the hymns we'll be using in worship tomorrow on the fifth Sunday of Easter. We will start with our gathering hymn, Now the Green Blade Rises. And this Easter text was written to go with a tune that had been fully Christmas. So it was Sing We Now of Christmas. And the theme of grain is very apparent throughout this hymn. You'll check that out tomorrow. The tune goes back to at least the 15th century, maybe a little bit further. And there have been some noted discrepancies between text and tune and how well they align. So I'm not going to tell you where they are. We'll see if you can figure them out. And it was originally thought that was due to the original French text to the hymn tune. But actually, on further study, the same anomaly exists with the French text and the English text. So there you go. Now the Green Blade Rises. This is a theme and variations on this, and you'll notice one of them has a little bit of What Child Is This in it, because as I mentioned, this is well known as a Christmas hymn as well, so that's why you get a little bit of that in there too. fun there. And we'll move over to the piano for the rest of them. We'll go ahead with our hymn of the day. We know that Christ is raised. This is actually a hymn with a fascinating history. It was written in the midst of test tube babies, and when that was quite controversial at its start. And the hymn was written to illustrate the Christian doctrine of baptism in relation to these types of experiments. And some original language, though, that was in this hymn, this was kind of obvious, quote, as living and organic parts of Christ. Those words were later changed, so it's less obvious now. And the tune was originally written to go to the text for all the saints. So not the tune that we know, Sine Nomine, is what that's become, but originally this is what it was written for. We know that God is raised. Moving to our communion hymn. That is For the Bread Which You Have Broken. This is definitely an older hymn, with its first draft being written in 1924. It was written as a post-communion hymn, and its text writer was the foremost American hymnologist of his time and generation. He was Presbyterian ordained minister, and he wrote this with the tune that is in a very short tune. It's a harmonized hymn that has a pleasant tone, so it goes really well. So this is For the Bread Which You Have Broken. The melody's a little bit harder to find in this variation, but hopefully you'll find it. nice tune as well. And last, we have our sending hymn, Now All the Vault of Heaven Resounds. And this text was written around 1958. It was written to go with the tune. The tune might be more commonly recognized as All Creatures of Our God and King. The origins of this tune probably date back to the 16th century, and it's somewhat of a transcendent hymn. I challenge you tomorrow as you're singing it, or tonight as you listen, that to listen, find, and hear that how things mighty as heaven and earth are portrayed here, as it goes up and it goes down and it covers all this transcendent space. The music going up and down along with that, just you really can feel that. So we will hear Now All the Vault of Heaven Resounds. So, those are our hymns for tomorrow. We're glad that you've joined us this evening. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the hymns, hearing a little bit different variations of them, and we'll look forward to singing them tomorrow in worship in person here at 8:30 and 11. And of course, the 11 o'clock service will be live streamed on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining. We'll look forward to being together again next week. Have a good evening.